What's good, beautiful people? Welcome to Grey Grey Studios, where we do and talk about all things creative. My name is Grey Grey, your awkward yet talented jingle, and today, guys, I'll be answering the important, very funny questions on why creative startups fail. I'll also be giving you guys life updates, and I'll be having a fun game at the end of the segment. All that and more on today's episode. Stay right here with me, guys. Don't leave. Stay.
Check it.
All right, so guys, yeah, my life has been interesting. You guys watched our last video where I went on a power rant about AI. I was discussing AI, talking about what AI has done to the world. Today, I'm just going to be talking about something within our jurisdiction, something within our sphere. Creative startups. We have like 1,000,001 creative startups starting every single day, but they kind of keep failing. I don't know why. But you guys have questions, and I've gone to do some research. I have opinions, and you guys, I want us to discuss. I want us to talk about what you think about creative startups failing. Before I get into any of that, I want to give you guys a quick life update. There are some questions I have here from some of the team members, and also from online, where you guys kind of drop questions subtly, gently in the comments. So I have many of them collated, and yes, I will just be giving you answers to that. So first things first, the first question here is, what's one small win from this week that made me smile? I made a banging jollof rice. It seriously,
That jollof rice was banging.
I don't have videos, I don't have pictures because it's all gone. It is digested, but it was so beautifully made. I surprised myself. So I feel whenever I remember that, I just go, yeah, that was one thing this week that actually made me smile. And also, my toxic trait is that I think I can replicate that. Bam. Bim, bap, boom, bap, boom, bap, bam. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. You just have to trust me, bro. I made this jollof rice, and it was terrific. Have you tried any new thing lately that actually surprised you? This question is quite fascinating though. I think looking back, I think I started writing again. So it's not new. For those of you that know me on this channel, I've been writing since I was 9 years old. So it's not new to me to write, but I've always written for clients. At least for the past 1 year, I've written for clients, written for people, written for friends. So I actually thought of a very interesting story. My creative juice is back on. My writer's block moment is over, and I am writing long form novels. This is another novel I'm working on, and I want to release it towards the end of this year. And I'm actually surprised that it took me this long to get back into long form writing.
I used to feel like if I can never take a break from long form writing. It was a part and parcel of me. It was my breath. It was my third limb.
I always wanted to conjure stories, write stories, create stories, and yeah, I'm back at it again. So yes, I'm fascinated. All right. Another question here is, have you discovered any weird or wonderful new hobbies or habits? No, I am really a boring person. I have a lot of things going on, but like new habits, I've not really discovered anything new. I've always read comics. It's been like forever. I've always written. It's like forever. I always loved to sing. If you follow my TikTok to find out my cringe videos, I've always been singing forever. Videography forever. Photography, you guys were there when I started. So nothing new recently for me. So except the new or latest thing in my life that
It's actually very fascinating, beautiful, wonderful, marvelous, mind-blowing was I got married, and you guys already know in my last video.
So yeah, moving forward, what is one random thing that made your day better lately? It's actually the love of my life. And that's all I'm going to say about that. The main topic here is, why do creative startups fail? And a lot of you might be wondering, okay, what are we talking about here? In Nigeria or in the world, but I'm going to use Nigeria as a case study because that's where I am right now. And in Nigeria here, guys have been doing a lot of stuff. Nigeria has one of the most insanely creative population. Talk about music, talk about films, talk about art, talk about expression. Nigeria has a lot of creative individuals, and it is very fascinating to see that a lot of people are trying to put pen to paper to create something amazing, come up with a plan for a business, for a venture. And then we have a lot of creative businesses. We have a lot of small studios that releases music. We have a lot of art hubs that create art. We have a lot of small indie filmmakers, a lot of people who are into creativity. However, these companies do not end up becoming the big companies. They are either failing or they are stifled by several things. And I'm very, very happy to see that you guys have a lot of questions online about this. A lot of people are asking, what is the problem? Why? Why is it happening this way? So I'm going to be going through those questions now, and yeah, we'll be discussing them together. So the first one here is, why do so many creative believe passion alone will guarantee success? So now this is my opinion as a creative myself who started from bottom. Guys, don't get me wrong, I'm still at the bottom. I'm trying to claw my way up, but we are here. This is the sphere right now. And a lot of people believe passion alone guarantees success because that is all they have. Basically, they don't have finances to push them. They don't have the emotional and mental support. They don't have friends that helps them or guide them aright. They don't have a community of people that would, show them how it is done. So all they have is passion. And when you have passion, it is all you can start off on. Passion is your first capital. Before you get money, before you get resources, before you get every other thing, the drive, the want, the desire to do is actually your first capital, is your first investment. It is what you are putting. So because of passion can't be quantified, and it can't be, say, okay, passion is equivalent to this amount. Passion is equivalent to this asset, or passion is equivalent to this physical stuff. We get to spend more than, what we hope. And what I mean spend, I mean we get to spend our time, things that we do not have physically. We get to spend our emotions, we get to spend our energy, we get to spend our physical being ourselves, our bodies, our energy, our time, all of these things we are investing. So passion feels like a capital, like you are putting in something, you're putting in time, you're putting in effort into something that you believe, you're putting in faith into something that you believe is going to work out. And that is all many people do have. So a lot of people, I don't blame them for thinking passion will get them far. But a reality check sets in. Reality sets in really fast to show that, oh, you have this thought, you have this belief, you have this passion. But the people around you might or may feel the same or might not feel the same. They might not feel the same about what you're thinking to do. They might not feel the same about your passion, your desire. And because of that, you have this conflict that are starting to arise with the external world. So people are trying to now navigate through that, and they feel like because I've spent in my blood, sweat and tears, it should amount to something. So at least I cannot be doing this for nothing. I have a vision, I have a dream, I have the ability. I might not have all the capabilities, but I'm putting in something towards this effort. So yes, people feel like passion should suffice, but that is not the case, because we are living, or we are surviving in a system that is created with, profit and loss in mind. A transactional system, let me put it that way. We are living in the transactional system. So you got to give something to get something. And sadly, the truth is, your passion is not sufficient. And don't get me wrong, you will make it if you keep at it. There are people who put in their passion, their hard work, but there are other sacrifices you need to make other than your passion. Because passion, like I said, is not quantifiable. And I might be yarning dust. You guys, if you think you're making more sense than I have, and you think you have more ideas than I have, or you think you have a different opinion about what I have said, please, I'm open to be enlightened. Put it down in the comments below. I feel your passion sometimes is not sufficient. You need funds. You need people. You need physical things to move some physical things. Your passion is the drive, but you need something to push you to the end, to the finish line. So yeah, you need an equipment, you need a car. You can be a driver, but without a car, you're just a person that knows how to drive. I think you get what I'm trying to say. So yeah, moving on to the next question here. What's the difference between a hobby and a business? I used to hear this saying that make your hobby your job, then you don't have to work a single day of your life. While that might sound true in the grand scheme of things, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a financier, if you are someone who is starting a business, all I'm going to say is you are going to work. Every single day you are going to work. Because I used to tell everybody that works with me or people that we get to do a project together, there are 3 stages of production. The first stage is the pre-production, meaning the planning phase, where you get to plan, where you get to study the environment, do your market survey. If it's a movie, for instance, you have to do your schedule, check out locations, write a script. All of these things are the planning phase, right? Now, the most interesting part of it is the production, because you're actually doing something you like. So you get to say, you get to film. If you're a cinematographer, you get to film. If you're a photographer, you get to take pictures. If you are an actor, you get to act. If you're a director, you get to direct. So the production aspect of it is very fun. It can be stressful because of, you might be standing for long hours, but it does not feel like stress entirely because you're passionate about it. Now, the hard part is the post-production, where everything starts to come together. That's where the real work is. So now let's say I've been on set, filmed like 50 hours of footages. It's been fun. It's been amazing. Now somebody has to sit down to edit that. While some people are so passionate about editing, if you are the one handling the entire business, you have to sit down to edit that. And honestly, it might be fun when you start out, but when you keep doing this repetitive routine for a very long period of time, even if you try to find ways to make it easier for you, there comes a kind of burnout with it. So you have to do the work. So people saying, oh, make your hobby your profession, I see it. But you have to still do the work. Making your hobby your business, you have to still do the work. So now let me differentiate the two. A hobby is something you're doing out of interest. You don't even you're just trying to get that satisfaction of doing it. You like doing it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You enjoy it. You enjoy feeling it. You enjoy doing it. You enjoy exploring it. However, you're not thinking of making money at the end. You're just doing it because you want to do it. But business, you're thinking of making money at the end. And anything that has to do with making money, there has to be paperwork. Anything that has to do with making money, there has to be contracts. Anything that has to do with making money, there has to be procedures. There has to be professionalism. You have to put in all of these things into your hobby. Then it makes it it's like giving it a boundary. You have to pay taxes. Tax is not fun. Who likes paying tax? Taxes are not fun. You have to fill in your paperwork. You have to register your business. You have to hire people. You have to manage the people you're hiring. You have to write. You have to study. You have to research. You have to do the work. So your hobby is your hobby. But to make your hobby a business, you have to be professional about it. And when you're professional about your business, you're putting it in you're having a boundary around that hobby. So you can't do and undo. You get what I'm trying to say? So yeah, there's a thin line, but I think some people think that thin line is not clear. It's thin, but we can see it between the hobby and the business. So yes, it is fun when you do the job, but it's also tasking, and it also takes a lot of things, that you need to put into consideration while doing this. So that's that about that. Now, another question here is, why is the business side often, is it often or often? Often. What do you say? Often. I'm going to go with Sharon. Sharon says it's often. All right. Why is the business side often intimidating for creatives? Because creatives like to have fun. Creativity is fun because you love it. You want to do it. You have that passion for it. But the business side is where you dot all your T's. Sorry, you don't dot T's. Is where you dot all your I's and you cross all your T's. That's where every single detail matter. But in art, sometimes a mistake is is regarded as art. When you make mistake, it's expressive, it's art. But when it's in the business, it's problematic. When it's in business, it's questionable. It might not be fraud, but it's questionable. You get what I'm trying to say? So a lot of things have to be done properly in the business side, and the business side is strict. The business side is money-ish. There's money involved. There's paperwork involved. There's contract involved. So I don't think the business side is actually fun for anyone, except they are really, really into finances and into, people who are doing that for a living. They're into that. But as a creative, you just want to create. You just want to go out there and create and let everybody deal with the rest of it. So basically, the business side, I would say, is intimidating for creatives. But the interesting part of it is that you can't escape it. You have to just handle it. You just have to find a way to handle both. And let me tell you something. The second you are able to handle being a creative and being a I won't say badass. Okay, I already did. Okay, being a creative and being a badass business person, you are formidable, seriously, because you don't only know how to create, you know how to market what you've created, you know how to package what you've created, you know how to serve what you've created to people, and you know how to defend what you've created. That's just a big W. It's a big win. So yeah, it might be intimidating, but you cannot escape it. You need to embrace it. You need to learn about it. If it's business, you need to research, and you need to apply that to your creativity, because then it creates like a protection for your creativity. People know that, oh, she knows her onions, she knows the front end and the back end of what she does. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say about that. Should every creative startup have someone who's purely business minded? It is a bonus. If you have someone who is purely business minded, it's a bonus. It is great. But in some cases, you want to start something, you have an idea, and you're not purely business minded, you're creative. You want to create and you want to do amazing things, and you don't know where to start from. I think the best way to go about this is to learn. There's nobody above learning. You need to learn. Learn, research. What is it you want to do? What do you want to achieve? And then you go in, you dive right in to make sure it works. So ideally, I'm just going to say that as a creative, you need to be business minded. So there's no separating the two. If you're just a creative, like, I just want to create, I just want to make art, I don't want to do any other thing. Yes, you can do that. But what's protecting your art? What's selling your art to people? What's translating your art to people? What's giving you that edge to be able to make money from what you create? So yes, there's no separating the two. But if you feel like, okay, I'm not really great, and I have a partner, a friend, a buddy who's very business minded and wants to be a partner with me, yes, absolutely, it's a bonus. But that does not excuse you from not being business minded yourself, because you need to protect yourself. I'm not saying your partner is going to dupe you, but we know of partners who have duped each other. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Do creatives rely too heavily on investors, grants, or donations? Yes. But I don't think it is too heavily. I think creatives do what they can to achieve what they want. Because oftentimes people say, you want to be a photographer? Is that a job? I don't see a job like that working out. People go that way. And creatives, to prove that they can actually make money from photography, they have to fend for themselves. They have to convince a lot of people. So if it's like a doctor saves life. I'm not comparing both, but I'm just saying jobs like white collar jobs, like a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer. Those jobs are like, oh, you're an engineer, oh, you're a doctor, oh, you're a lawyer, oh, you're this, you're that, you're a mechanical engineer. That's fire. But when you go, oh, I'm a photographer, people go, oh, you're a photographer. And nowadays there's accolades for photography, but like 10 years ago it was kind of like, you want to be a photographer, that's what you want to dedicate your entire life to. It's insane. People are very skeptical of it. So yes, because because of photographers have to fend for themselves, there's no huge box waiting for them. They have to depend heavily on investors. Like, you know what? I need to get a camera at least. I need to get this at least. And photography gears are not cheap. They are not affordable. They are expensive. You want to get a camera, you're not even earning yet, and you have to like cough up like 1.2 million naira. You have to cough up like 1.5 million naira to be able to get at least a decent camera that can shoot fire. Seriously, they have to rely on investors, they have to rely on families, they have to rely on donations to be able to get themselves together. And what's even painful is that it's not set in stone that, oh, because you have donations now, you're going to be Mark Zuckerberg esque rich in like 1 year. Things can still go wrong for them. So I think it gives them the drive to be able to like know what it is they are doing, because they don't want to let the people that have trusted in them, they don't want the stereotype to be right, like, oh, photographers is this and that. And I'm using photography as an example because I'm a photographer, so it's just easy for me to use that as an example. I could use any other creative job as an example. So creatives sometimes need to fend for themselves. And how do they fend for themselves? When their equipment are expensive, like the cameras are expensive. If you want to be a cinematographer, even if you want to be a video editor, it is expensive to get a very decent PC that's going to be able to edit, especially if you don't come from somewhere that you have big bucks waiting for you to get all of these gears. So yes, people rely heavily on investors. There's no shame about that. People rely on donations. There's no shame about that. If you want help, reach out for help. And if people are willing to help you, that's amazing. Please, if you are a creative and donations are coming in, don't feel shy. People believe in you. They want to help you. Now, it's left to you not to let those people down. It's left to you to do it and get it done. How can startups know when it's the right time to scale? All I'm going to say is when you're making enough bucks to scale. If you know you're going to take money from what you have to scale and it's going to punish you greatly, don't. I'm talking from experience, guys. I'm talking from experience. But props to the guys who risk it all and earn big bucks. And props to the guy who risk it all and lose and still get back up on their feet. All I'm just going to say is, I just think it's common sense. Just use your common sense. When you have enough to scale. If you think you're going to take money from your bank account and you're going to splurge and then you're going to be begging for money later, it's safe not to. Just be strategic. Look at what you need. Rely heavily on what you need. So there's this friend of mine who started a business. So what he did was, this guy had enough to actually get like a big building and scale, but from this tiny apartment that he was living in was where he kept making his product and kept selling until he had money enough to buy like 3 buildings. And then he just bought 1 building, made it all great. He's living happily, he's living fine, he travels whenever he likes. That's the essence, guys. The essence is to be able to live comfortably, live happily, do what you want whenever you want without anybody, without checking your wallet. I mean, like, oh my God, I might be out if I spend this money. Do you get what I'm trying to say? The whole point is to enjoy life with the people you love, with the people you care about. Make memories, create something that, would save people, help people, make the world a better place. That's all I'm going to say about that. So if you're thinking of scaling, I'm not saying you should not scale, but what kills a lot of startup faster, and I'm talking from experience, guys. I'm talking from someone who wanted to live the glitz and glamour for a business. I crashed hard. And I'm saying, for you not to crash hard, think wisely. If you don't need it, don't want it, don't get it, don't have it. When you need it, have it. If you have enough, like, oh, now I want to do this, I want to do that, please go ahead. But if you do not have it, don't live beyond your means. Cut your coat according to your size. Don't waste, don't splurge when you have nothing left. If you splurge on everything you have left, then you're not splurging, you're just wasting. On to the next question. So what's a smarter way to think about funding a creative startup? So now I'm going to use this. Okay, I have this new startup. I have this new idea I want to start. It's a startup. It's an e-commerce startup where I sell products. I make products and I sell products. So because I know I don't have enough money, I don't have much money, I don't have money to splurge, I'm thinking on falling to the order kind of business. There has to be a demand. There has to be a request. So what I'm going to do is based off of orders. I've spoken to a lot of people that I feel like help me distribute my product. I did that first. Talk like, okay, I have this product I want to make. I feel like you might be a great person to help me sell this product. You can take this cut off. You can take this percentage off for yourself. Just help me sell my product. But I'm going to sell my products to you based off of orders. So when you get orders, I'll deliver. But if I'm not getting orders, I'm not going to deliver those products. So it saves me from wastage. So what I'm saying is people get to pay for this product first. They see what they are getting. So people get to pay for this product first before they get it. I think you get what I'm trying to say. So I use that money to fund the product and then get it to them. But what I'm trying to say is with every business, there's always profit and there's always loss. Nobody is the wisest in the world. You get wiser as you go. So what I'm just going to say is there are different ways to fund a startup. You can either fund by pre-order. So you ask people to pre-order your service or you pre-order your product. And number two, from crowdfunding. Funding the startup to start. You can crowdfund family donations, friend contributions, investment, all of these things, donations. Yes, you can crowdfund your project or you can crowdfund for your startup. But just know that with every business comes its risk. With every business, there's profits and there's losses. So just be very, very strategic. Think. And guys, if you have any ideas you want to drop below, please drop them below. I'm not like the wisest in the world. I am only speaking off of my experiences and off of the research I've made and off of conversations I've had with fellow creative and conversations I've had with people who also started out one business or the other and kind of like flunked and kind of got up on their feet again. I myself included. I had a business that I started. It failed heavily. I'm up again, having a podcast, starting photography, videography. There's a lot of ups and downs. I'm having an adventure I want to go into soon. There's been a lot of period of debt and a lot of period of high profit, a lot of periods of loss, periods of stagnancy. It comes with the business. As an entrepreneur, you need to humble yourself. I'm going to put in a clip from Abba and Preach. I don't know if you watched this, guys. They actually came up on my TL a few weeks ago. Abba and Preach. I don't know if I'm saying their names right. There's Preach. Preach is Preach. But Abba, and Preach. These guys, like this video I watched, there's a fundamental principle of entrepreneurship that I actually got from their clips. I'm going to add this clip here and you guys can just watch.
And this is what happens with being an entrepreneur. You don't know what can happen. 1 minute you can have it and feel like, oh, you feel like $1 million bucks. And some other times, shit, $1 million bucks is missing. But it's not a certain thing. There's some stress that comes with that. And you have to humble yourself with the stress that comes with that. Yeah.
So I'm going to move on to the last question. The last question here is, does waiting too long to expand kill the momentum? Now, what I'm going to say is, it's not about waiting too long to expand. It is about what you are doing while you are thinking of expanding. So if you say, oh, I'm waiting too long to expand, does it kill the momentum? No. It kills the momentum if you are actually waiting and not doing anything. If you are feeling like, oh, I have this, you're not coming up with ideas, you're not being creative. You're creative, you should be able to create. If you're not creating during those period of time and you're thinking, oh, I'm just gonna wait till I expand, yes, the momentum will die because you start to lose feelings for the things you are passionate about. You start to lose feelings for your career. Start to lose feelings for your creative process. But while you are waiting to expand, you're doing this and doing that, coming up with ideas. Let's add this, let's do this, let's remove this, let's modify this, let's do all of these things. You realize that there was never even a waiting period. When it's the right time to expand, you will expand. You will know it. You'll expand. And please, knowing it in this manner is different from, I saw something on IG and I think we should just copy it. I think it would be good for us. please make sure it's good for you before you copy it, because you might just jump into that cesspool of, oh, what's out there, want to copy and copy and copy, and you lose your originality, you lose what you've been pursuing, you start to purchase things you don't need, you start to go into this life of always wanting stuff you don't actually need. So yeah, before your startup expands, you need to be doing things that will actually lead to that expansion. But if you are thinking, oh, let me just wait it out, I should expand, yeah, you're just gonna wait, and then everything shrinks. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Those are the questions that were hot on the list. We have several others, but yeah, we could do a part 2 episode if you guys are up for it. If you guys want what am I stuttering hard? If you guys want it, we can do another episode where we answer these questions. I give my opinions based off of what I know and based off of the research I have made. Yeah, startups do fail, but I feel like some of the times it is man-made. Yes, life circumstances can happen, people can fall into problems, circumstances can come, the funds might not be sufficient, the clients might not come, you might have not miscalculated. But sometimes it is because of some micro habits or some micro things we do as individuals that stunts our startups' growth. Some people, they make a little cash and they splurge it all. I have been there. I have made a little cash. I have splurged it all and I fell back to ground zero. So I know, guys, I know. So if you are watching this and you feel like this resonates with you somehow, please do not forget to give me a like, comment your thoughts down below, share, put on your notification bell so you can get updates from me. And yes, if you feel like you have something to say, please put in the comments down below. I will read everything. I will interact with all of your comments. I feel we need to have these conversations because they are important. Startups be failing. And I feel people fail their startups too. So your startups might not be the one failing you. People might actually be the one failing their startups because they fail to realize that these micro habits they have, these micro things they do, is what is leading up to that. You get money, you spend, and then your startup is looking at you like, mommy, what about me? Yeah, you left your startup, you hung it out to dry. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say about that. As someone who has been a serial creative, I'm a serial creative, guys. I can list, there's a smorgasbord of things that I'm into, but I had to stick to some that align corely with my values, that align with what I want to achieve in the long run. I stuck to some that I want to look back on when I'm like 50, 60 years of age, and I go, I actually did a lot of amazing stuff. Even now that I'm still quite young, I look back at some of the things I've done in school, and I go, what? I did that? Bro, I'm balling. And I think it happens to some people like that. So there's a phase in life where there's highs and there's lows. So don't think, oh, because I've done this and now I'm here, I'm so pathetic. No, guy. No, don't say that to yourself. So yeah, it's been fun, it's been interesting. I gave you guys life updates, I gave you guys questions of the week, because it's an ever-evolving question, so it's not questions of the week per se, but I discussed something important with you guys about why creative startups fail. So if you enjoyed today's episode and you really like what I do not forget to give me a like, thumbs up, share, subscribe, and put on your notification bell so you can get updates from me. I love you guys. I know you guys love me, even though you don't say it. That's my toxic trait. I'm just going to believe and assume you guys love me. So show me some love by commenting, subscribing, commenting, so you get the gist, right? Comment, subscribe, share, and yeah, see you in the next video. Annyeong.